So I am starting a new series, and I'm calling it Restoring Human Sacredness. And it was inspired by, of all people, some of the youths beneath the floorboards. I heard them talking about creating their own ritual space. What a fantastic idea. That is so wonderful and creative of you to think of that. And if I might suggest, with respect, just some things to think about. I hear also some of you are puzzled why I'm willing to endure so much torture rather than succumb to the will of the torturers. And it has everything to do with restoring sacredness to the world and our culture. And if you're raised in families or communities where boundaries are always being violated, or inappropriate sex at different ages, and exposed to things that a child should not be until they're the proper age, you can't understand sacredness or the importance of it. But one great way to begin is to create a ritual space. And what a ritual space is, in accordance with you wanting to initiate yourself into manhood, it is honoring the man that you are to become. And so therefore, a ritual space is a sacred space. And you need to respect your future self by always making sure that that space stays that way. And so what that means is no drugs, no alcohol, no sex, and if you're not of age, and all of you aren't, no tobacco unless you can invite a shaman in who can administrate the tobacco in a sacred way. So this is a way of just saying that I don't need these props and buffers from my empowered male self. Does not require these things. And so, that doesn't say that, when you leave the space, you're going to do what you're going to do. But while you're in that space, I really strongly recommend that you respect that. And there's always going to be people out of integrity that try to mess with these sorts of rituals. And so they might try to desecrate it. And so every time that you create a ritual space, it's a good idea to do some sort of practice, purification practice. And I don't know if you are allowed things from the outside, but it's a very popular practice to use sage or Palo Santo wood. And it's called smudging, and you light it and then you walk around the room, and the smoke is a purification. But if that's not available to you, just simply standing in a circle and creating some sort of ritual chant, or to just say, as we gather in this circle for men, that we purify it with our intentions, or just something like that. Drumming is great, dancing, chanting. Just consider it like kind of like a chapel that is more fun and more flexible than the traditional chapel is. It can be a place where you bring your woundedness, if there's something that you're struggling with, and you all can just sit and discuss it. Sweating is great. So if you're like dancing or doing some sort of martial arts or something like that causes you to sweat, that's purifying as well, and connects you again with your future, more empowered, more mature self. And I recommend you do a little research too. Aside from Joseph Campbell and Robert Bly, who talk about the indigenous rituals of initiating boys to men, that oftentimes is just a one-time deal, and it's very intense and it's very difficult, and then the boy becomes a man, and it's just a one-time ritual. There's other shaman, there's Luis Malmadrona, who's both MD as well as a Native American shaman. And the Ruiz brothers, Don Miguel and Don Jose, are both wonderful, wonderful teachers about sacredness and integrity in men. And they have lots of teleseminars you can just hop onto, or just Google shamanism or ritual space or sacred space, and maybe you'll find your own online mentors that you can start learning from. But it doesn't mean that you can't get started right away. And you might want to just say, hey, the second Wednesday of every month, that's when we're going to have it. And I just wish you so much luck and kudos. And it can be personal too. You don't have to talk about it or share about it beyond those who consent to be a part of it. And so I hope it becomes a great journey for you. All right, bye for now.